Story 1. This happened many years ago, but it still affects me to this day. While I was volunteering at a church, I met somebody that I would become absolutely smitten with. Head over heels for them. They weren't interested, but that didn't do anything to keep me from feeling that way. It wasn't until 3 years later that we started dating, and to be honest, it was a great time. We were very open and honest with one another. We went on dates every weekend, and though we weren't very intimate, I followed her pace. Things were great, and months flew by. But one day, something drastically changed. We were sitting in the trees, talking about the future, when she sat up and seemed a bit embarrassed. I asked her what the problem was, and she hesitantly proposed we open the relationship. I was confused, as I knew I wasn't lacking as a partner. But as she explained and told me who she was thinking about, I reluctantly agreed as long as she kept me in the loop. I was head over heels for her, and I'd do anything to make her happy. 2 weeks later, she ended the relationship. She never really gave me a reason. To be honest, it was the first time I poured my heart out for somebody. It really hurt. I was probably a recluse for a month before I started to live my life again. As I said, she never gave me a reason, but she still wanted to stay friends. Wanting closure, I started to poke and prod her to find out the reason. Eventually, she told me I just couldn't see a future with you. After that, I ended our friendship and did my best to move on. It was a few months later that she approached me while I was at church and asked to talk to me. Of course, I did. She explained that during our relationship, she didn't just talk to that one woman, but 3 other guys as well. The guilt over it was the reason why she broke up with me. She apologized so sincerely and even started crying, begging for my forgiveness and to be with her again. That she was the one at fault and she wanted to have us again. She kissed me like she used to, and if I'm honest, I was a hair's breadth away from saying yes. But I told her I would think about it and decided to ghost her. I probably should have told her straight to her face, but I didn't trust myself, as I still had some pretty strong feelings for her. Just her smell alone was enough to make me swoon. I stopped answering her texts and her calls. When she joined a conversation I was in, I'd leave. We had many mutual friends, and they noticed something was wrong, so they approached me. I'm not too proud of it, but I told them. This led to her quickly being ostracized at the church and ended up with her not coming at all. It did cause some really bad insecurity problems that follow me to this day. It's probably a major reason why I would later go on to join the military, to try and feel like a macho man and not the unwanted boy she made me feel like. Some years later, when I was at home on vacation, she found out and contacted me. I didn't love her anymore, and if anything, I was very bitter. The negative feelings I had for her had been stewing for a while, and I had been replaying things over and over in my head. I decided to take revenge on her. For about a week, I toyed with her. It was cruel, and I hate that I did it, but looking back, it did seem to help some of my issues that related to her. After I left, she tried to keep contact. I didn't. It seems she got the picture, because I've been back home several times since, and she hasn't tried to contact me once. To this day, years later, getting cheated on is one of my biggest fears. It's enough to the point where I'll not sleep for several days, throw up uncontrollably, and not eat. Even the thought of it is enough to make me start shaking. It's probably why I haven't pursued relationship at all this past year. I don't know why I'm writing this. To be honest, this is everything I hate and feeds into my insecurities when I even glance at it. But I guess I wanted somebody to hear my story. Like a confession, I guess. Reader comment. Almost everyone has been there at some point, my friend. I thought my first serious GF in high school was the one. She was the first one I opened up to. I was the one to take her virginity, and I did everything in my power to make every one of her firsts special. Gradually, I noticed her flirting with other guys constantly and had some friends tell me she made passes at them. I was a fool. I was in love, so I chose to not believe them. Until, of course, her best friend called me a day before my GF's birthday to tell me that while they had been visiting the BFF's lake house, she had hooked up with 2 guys. Seemingly at once. Felt like someone had just reached inside me and scooped out everything that made me human. It took a long time to move on, and I still have trust issues to this day. Original poster. I honestly should have seen her asking to open the relationship to be a major red flag and got out of there. But lesson learned. Reader comment. To be clear, she had sex with all 3 guys and the girl while she was your girlfriend, and she was taking your guys' intimacy at a snail pace. How old were you when this started? Original poster. We met as teenagers and started a relationship as young adults. That's right. Personally, I was okay with going as slow as she wanted, and when we broke up it was around the time we started to get intimate. So around the time of the breakup I thought I failed as a man. Reader comment. You made the right decision, Opus. Trusting your gut and ghosting that girl spared you God knows how much pain you would have endured had you took her back. She's trash and was playing you like a fool back then. What kind of revenge did you take? Original poster. My revenge was more or less a long series of emotional manipulation, dangling a relationship in front of her and using her to be intimate. I didn't mention it, but she wanted us to take our intimacy very slowly. But when she talked to the other 3 men, she went on and on about how I didn't satisfy her or fulfill her. Reader comment. Sorry man. I learned that when a girl says they want to take things slow, that's code talk for them putting you on the back burner while they casually sleep with other guys. After I gained some experience, if I heard that, I bailed. Personally, I don't see how you would have desired to have sex with that girl after what she was doing and saying behind your back. Either way, lesson learned. Please stop fretting over what happened with that skank years ago. She's been out of your life for a long time now, and constantly thinking about her isn't worth sacrificing your mental and physical health over. Seek therapy if you have to and move on with your life. Out of curiosity, whatever happened to her? Original poster. Didn't go well. She used to be an attractive level of plush, but over time she just became plain old overweight. In addition to that, she more or less went a little crazy. She had big aspirations, but unfortunately it seems like she didn't follow through with them. I have no idea where she is now or what she's doing, and to be honest, I'm okay with that. Story 2. Finally got the hard evidence to prove my ex-wife cheated. Not sure how I feel. I know this is a long read. For those who take the time to read and respond, truly, thank you. So, my ex-wife and I got divorced in 2019. The whole thing was so far out of the blue and unsuspected that I couldn't accept the story she was trying to feed me. So, story goes like this. We were married for 6 years at the time. We had gone to visit an out-of-state friend to celebrate my birthday and his, as they are only 7 days apart. Up until the second day of the trip, things were perfectly normal. Then it was like a switch immediately got flipped. She got very cold and distant, which was highly unlike her. I continually asked what's wrong to only get the nothing's wrong, so as to not continue harping on it and try to enjoy the little bit of time I have to see my friend. I dropped it. We get back home on a Sunday night and now the coldness and distance feel 10x worse. So, I continually push her to talk. She just claims to be tired. So, I figure I'd wait for Monday evening when it's earlier. She got home after me and still colder than liquid nitrogen and may as well have been on the moon. I continued to ask, and she just said she's tired and had a rough day. So, I told her I wouldn't bother her about it again and would leave her be until the weekend came. So, Friday night comes around and she gives me a letter that in short says she loves me but is not in love with me and wants a divorce. We talked for a few hours, laughed a little, cried a little, but honestly, I was in so much disbelief, shock, and confusion to really feel anything in those moments. So, we separated, but still lived in the same house and had a mostly amicable relationship. Months prior to the separation, we accepted an invite to go on a cruise with my family. She already had the time off approved with her job and her ticket was already paid for and non-refundable. She was immediately uninvited. When I told her this, she wasn't upset as she pretty much already knew, but she then asked if I had plans to go anywhere the week after the cruise, as she was going to be meeting and staying with a guy she met online for a week. Now, this is only a few weeks after the separation, and I asked her if she had met them prior to the separation, to which she lied and said she would never cheat on me and that they just clicked immediately. Being disgusted at what I was hearing, I just shrugged it off so as not to lose my SHT, even though that's exactly what was happening inside. So, multiple opportunities were given to be honest, and she held firm that they didn't meet until after we were separated. Our divorce was finalized in November 2019, and she moved to Germany in March 2020 right before lockdowns got crazy, to be with him. I kept the house, but we agreed that if I sold it we would split it equally. So, fast forward through all the depression and anger and emptiness up until around January 2022, I finally made the decision to sell the house and move closer to family. The home was in a very desirable area and got way above asking price, and was sold fairly quickly, and I moved in May of 2022. Being that I had enough money to not rush into a SHT job, I decided to take some time for myself to actually get myself back together emotionally and physically. So here we are, January 2023, and a few days ago, I saw a post in the subreddit for the city we used to live in. The post read along the lines of me and my husband are moving to the area and wanted to know if anyone knows of any good rentals. It was too much of a coincidence to not at least check out the profile. And sure as SHT, it was her. I went back through her post and comment history, and while I didn't find any of their conversations, I did find others in which she talked about her BF living in Germany, and she can't wait to see him, etc. After cross-referencing the dates on the post, I was able to confirm they had been talking long before we separated. So, I took some screenshots and sent them to her with a civil message, basically just saying she could have told me the truth from the beginning, and it would have been easier to handle rather than 2 years of wondering and all the SHTTY thoughts that accompany the wondering. I saw she's read the messages but definitely no response. So, I felt pretty amazing the past few days, having finally been able to prove my suspicions and feel like I can finally move on. Even though I honestly thought I had a while ago law. So, I try not to think about it, but intrusive thoughts are just that. I just can't seem to not think about it unless I am 1000% preoccupied. I also have ADHD, so hyperfocus and some mild RSD definitely plays a role. So how do I reseal the wounds and just get to a point where it doesn't hurt and I can pick back up into my healing journey, albeit in a totally different place? I just started a new job that I'm truly enjoying all aspects of, continuing to work on my physical health, and outside of the sporadic twinges of pain from the re-injured wound, I'm overall in a good place. Okay, maybe an alright place, but I wouldn't say I'm in a bad place. Just want to avoid getting there again. Reader comment: why are you still allowing your ex's actions to control how you feel? My divorce was final around the same time as yours. At this point, I couldn't care less who she slept with and when. Better them than me. If you haven't blocked her everywhere by now, do that. And avoid going down rabbit holes like you did on Reddit. There are no answers there that will make you feel better. Just get on with your life and you will be much happier, I promise. Original poster: I truly didn't think I was until just a few days ago. I'm fully aware that I'm why I can't have nice things in this instance law. Not so sure I really care who she is or isn't sleeping with at this point. Just some of the other emotions involved is what's resurfaced. Blocking and deleting all past convos is def a good start. I appreciate the input. Reader comment: why was the out-of-state trip the first time she was cold? When did her affair begin to when she acted cold for the first time? Original poster: I don't know exact date of when it started or why it just so happened to be during out-of-state trip. But I do now have proof of them meeting online prior to our trip. I just used the trip as a time holder. Don't think it had anything to do with the trip itself. Reader comment: Opus, you had a kind of closure knowing that your guts were right, but that is the best you will get. Now is time to really go full no contact with her. Block her and unfollow her everywhere. Talk to your family and friends. Tell them all that you have discovered and ask them to please not give you updates about her and remove any trace of her from your life. Maybe some counseling with a cognitive behavioral psychologist can help you with your hyper-focus in the matter. You went through the mud and survived. Now you are starting a new life. Don't give her the power to ruin all your hard efforts. Original poster: family never really liked her from the start, but we're still polite, so no issue there. As for friends, all of the mutual friends we had have been on my side throughout everything. No further contact is taken care of. Just deleted all lingering traces from socials and contacts. Story 3. I thought I had the perfect life. I don't know what to do. I'm sad, terrified, having horrible thoughts. I'm not a perfect man, but I thought I had the perfect life. I'm in the National Guard but work full-time in big industry. I make over 6 figures a year. I work out. I built my own house. I've been with my STBX for 11 years. We finally got married 2 years ago. I just returned from a combat deployment. We were ready to have kids. I discovered she was with a man she hired to fix our fence while I was gone for over 6 months. They had unprotected sex numerous times. She fell in love with him. She did things and felt things with him she never did with me. She found her small-town cowboy she always wanted. I'm not a cowboy. She doesn't know that I know about the extreme depth of their infidelity. She has acted weird ever since I've been home, claiming she lived for a year by herself, and she's adjusted to me being gone. The real reason I think is that she's in love with him, but only stays with me because I never left her. That she knows I'm a good provider and protector. He's just a younger, hot cowboy who is married and has kids and F's clients. What did I do wrong? I know I have to work on my vulnerability, but this hurts so effing bad. She talked about having kids with him and running away together. She's living this double life and pretending everything is fine. She's planning our planting season this year. We bought more chickens. She talks about having children with me and scheduling doctor's appointments. She hasn't realized how utterly broken I am as I hide behind the severe stoicism the military taught me. I've spoken with my best friend about it, discussed the details. He thinks I should file for divorce and kick her out. He says if I try to fix it with her, we can't be friends. Part of my Catholic nature thinks I can fix this and make it work. I don't think it's possible. What will happen if I deploy again? I don't want to start over. I'm in my mid-30s and feel like I'm running out of time to have a dedicated wife and a farm full of kids who I want to raise to be great Americans. All I can do is cry in silence and keep the barrel of my pistol out of my mouth while I try to figure out how to approach her and have this discussion. I don't know how to start over. I don't know how to let go. I thought I was the strongest man I knew. I'm broken in half and I'm lost. Please God, help me. Reader comment: veteran to veteran ... Give your guns to your friend for safekeeping. Too many brothers and sisters have gone 6 feet deep. Listen, she doesn't know that you know, so that works in your favor. Unpredictably throws cheaters off. Get proof that she's been cheating. File for divorce. Improve your life and show that you're better than her and that cowboy. Your life matters, and reconciliation put your life in the back burner. That is not what you need. God can't help you, brother, only your friends, family, but more importantly yourself. Original poster. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate this insight. Reader comment. The only situation worse than what you describe above is finding yourself in 10 years' time with a farm full of kids and a wife who you will never be enough for. I'm in my mid-30s. 8 months ago, my forever partner cheated on me. It absolutely devastated me. I lost 14 pounds in a week. But it was over between us the moment I found out. Non-negotiable. I knew, right then, that I could never be with someone who could do that to me. The idea of consigning myself to a life of fear, worry, anxiety, never again knowing harmony or peace made me sick to my stomach. The only feeling worse than what I was going through. Some months passed and I unintentionally met someone else. We're a great fit for each other, and on reflection, the things that were missing from my previous relationship aren't missing now. The point is, you will also meet someone else who is better in ways you can't possibly imagine right now. That's not something to dread. It's something to look forward to. You're young enough to start again and have all of the things you want with the right person. Letting go and moving on wasn't a conscious thing for me. Please don't fear it or force it. I noticed that after some time had passed, it hurt less, and I was okay more. I wish there was a quick fix, but you have to write it out. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I genuinely believe I'm better off for it now. You will also get there. To save you time, one thing I know is that people who do this don't change unless they want to. Move on, live your life. You will be okay. Original poster. This was hard to read, but what I needed to hear. Reader comment. Steps to take immediately. 1. Make an appointment to see a doctor to get tested for every STD known to man. 2. Contact the AP's wife, GF, and tell her everything. But make sure you do it the same day she gets served. Think shock and awe. 3. Ask friends for recommendations for the best divorce lawyers they know. If they ask you why, tell them what she has done. 4. Do not get her pregnant. 5. Tomorrow, go to the bank and open an account in your name only. Start depositing your paycheck into this account. 6. Join a gym. Working out is a great way to burn off the anger and frustration. When I was going through this, my best purchase was a heavy punching bag. 7. Find article on implementing 180. 8. Do not keep her affair secret. Tell everyone. It takes a special type of scumbag to sleep with the wife of a man who is overseas serving the country. It takes a special type of $sign lot to cheat on a husband that is serving the country. Good luck, stay strong, and do what is best for you. Remember, a failure on her part is no reason for you to be embarrassed or ashamed. This is all on her. Original